What's going on, everybody? Guess what? The Raptors off-season actually does have some more life in it. After the draft, we all kind of thought, myself included, that the roster was kind of set. We didn't have the most flexibility to make any other signings, so it was just straight to summer league, straight to training camp, and hopefully get rid of Bruce Brown. But before we get into the news, as always, please remember to leave a like on the video, share with anybody you want to, and subscribe to the channel. I'd greatly appreciate any support you're willing to give. And yeah, let's dive into the news. So, bunch of Raptors reporters, Blake Murphy, mainly Blake Murphy. So yes, the Raptors released Javon, Freeman-Liberty, and Sasha Vezenkov for JFL. It's a little surprising for me. I thought we would have kept him into training camp. In summer league, he had a decent enough summer league. He was kind of the only guy who could score after Grady went down. So he was generally all right. He's a good scorer and should get a lot of G League buzz, some two-way buzz from other teams. But apparently, what had happened that I think he was guaranteed 100K, and if he remained on the roster by today, he would have been guaranteed 150, and if he made the opening night roster, he would have been guaranteed 800K. The Raptors was just like, we kind of got a good enough look for him. We know what he's about. He's a good scorer, but is a guy that needs the ball in his hands to be effective. We saw that a lot in Summer League, and granted, he wasn't playing with the best talent in Summer League, especially when Mobo and Grady went down. It's kind of unfortunate because he found himself in a position now that the position he's in, the shooting guard position, is kind of log jammed. We have Grady, we have Ochai, we have Jacoby Walter. So those three guys are obviously, you want to prioritize their development over JFL. So I just don't think he would have gotten any playing time if he remained on the roster. So the Raptors decided, let's save a few pennies and get rid of him. Still like the player. Hope he bounces on a main roster or two-way sometime this season. Now, as for Vezenkov, he follows in the footsteps of the last European that got traded to the Raptors, whereas he don't want to be here. And of course, we are talking about bum-ass Goran Dragic, but I have no beef with Sasha. He's a great European player and just wanted to get back home. He'll be a much bigger star in Europe. He was a EuroLeague MVP a few seasons ago. So he was like, I want out. I want to go back home. The Raptors was like, you offer three-point shooting, which we desperately need. So we kind of want you to play. So it's kind of just that pissing match between like, all right, if you want to go home, how much do you want to take? The agreement between the NBA and Europe is that you can't have European players just can't break their contract to go play with a European team. There needs to be an agreement for a buyout. And, for the last few weeks, the Raptors and Vezenkov were agreeing to a buyout. So when the news dropped yesterday that the front office continues to cook, continues their strong off-season, Sasha Vezenkov was bought out. However, the Raptors aren't paying him a single penny. Not one. As he has agreed to leave his entire 6 whatever milli on the table just so he could head back home to play in Europe. Wow. It sucks like he just really didn't want to play here. But, he left for free. I'm super grateful for that because what that allows Raptors to do is now not only do we have 2 roster spots opened up for right before training camp, but now we save $6 million off the cap. So we have a lot more room to, bring in one of these free agents that are still out there. The second apron kind of put things in place where money ain't flowing like it used to in the off season. So there's a bunch of good players out right now. We have about 11 million change to go after 1 or 2 players in free agency still to bring to training camp. Of course, first name that comes to my head is Tyus Jones. I've been wanting Tyus Jones on this team for like 4 or 5 years now, and that has not changed. He's still out there. He would do wonders for our bench. But I'm just looking across here for some available bench players that are still out there, because we still have our full mid-level exception to work with, which is a little over 12 mil. So Obviously we can't offer the full 12 mil, but we do have about, I would be comfortable using at least like between 6 to 10 just to get in a decent player. And remember, with the mid-level exception, it could be anywhere from 2 to 4 years. So not only do we have Tyus Jones, there's guys like Luke Kennard, Doug McDermott, Isaac Okoro, who's still restricted, yada yada. Let's look down upon the list. We could bring back Jordan Nwora if we want to. I wouldn't mind that. We can bring back the prodigal son, Malachi Flynn. Oh my god, he's 26? Huh. We could bring in the Greek goat, Thanos Antetokounmpo. Oh, yikes. So yeah, like, obviously there's some guys who have NBA experience if we're looking to go the more vet route, like Gordon Hayward is there. But we have Garrett Temple, so I don't think we necessarily need another vet that's not gonna play and it's gonna cost a lot of money. Well, Garrett's not costing a lot of money, but I wouldn't pay a lot of money to a guy like Gordon Hayward or Evan Fournier if they're not gonna play too much for us. As corny as it sounds, because we keep hearing Masai and Bobby talk about it, but this move gives us flexibility to move in the off season and breathes new life into the off season that I thought died like 3 weeks ago. So we have some money to go after some players, 2 open roster spots. All of our 2As are filled up. So, we can go to the route of using majority of the mid-level exception to go after a decent player like the guys I just mentioned, and maybe another guy to like on a camp invite on Exhibit 10. Or we could, bring in somebody who's like, all right, 2 Exhibit 10s for those of the young guys who have a lot of upside. See if any of them make the cuts and just hold on to that money in the meantime. The Raptors offseason is alive as well. Front office once again cooked. We now have 2 new roster spots with about 11 mil in change left of cap space before the first apron. So it'll be exciting to see who we could try to bring in. I'm praying for Tyus Jones, and I will continue praying for Tyus Jones until Tyus Jones either retires or joins the Raptors. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like, share, and subscribe. This is just a quick, news dump. I would leave a link to Blake Murphy's article where he kind of goes through like the reasons why they let go of Vezenkov, of Javon Freeman-Liberty. Blake Murphy, I'm sure you guys know, big Raptors fans. Works with I think it's Sportsnet or TSN, Sportsnet. I kind of got familiar with him when the Raptors show. He was a co-host with Will Liu, so he does really great work. So I'll leave a link to his article in my description and his Twitter thread about the whole like summary of the transactions were made yesterday. But yeah, you guys have a good time, and I'll see you all for the next video. Raptors Summer League grades coming out soon. And until then, y'all have a wonderful night.